But let's go to the bank that don't make deposits. For a second year in a row, different team though. Gardner Minshew comes into the bank and defeats the Ravens 26-23. He completed 30 passes for 276 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Lamar Jackson, 21 completions, 247 yards, a touchdown, and a pick that wasn't his fault, but it goes under his stat line regardless. Fly. Talk to me.
I mean, listen, you can really start anywhere with this. We talked about it prior, about it potentially being one of those trap games. For some reason, not just Ravens, but all Baltimore sports teams, they just tend to play down to the level of their opponent. But you got to think about it like, well, what level are you at? What level your opponent at, right? So it's not like maybe you're not playing down to your level. Maybe you just suck, and that's what you need to talk about. I think Keith mentioned it maybe a couple weeks ago. Well, not a couple weeks ago, but at the game, everything has looked the same. It's literally the same. It's lackluster. You're not finding energy, and you changed the offensive coordinator, you changed the defensive coordinator, you changed the players, and I mean, there's only one thing that's constant. That's literally is one thing that's constant with this team. You changed the running backs. You drafted a new cornerback. You got rid of Patrick Queen. You got new linebackers. So, and we're gonna get into the thing that's constant a little bit later. But when your quarterback, he improved his completion percentage this week. He almost had 300 yards all purpose between his his running and his passing. Derrick Henry, even though I feel like they forced it a little bit, he averaged 5 yards a carry, damn near 5 yards a carry. Lamar Jackson averaged, well, I mean, I guess you could take away the big run at the end, but his average was decent. Justice Hill, he ain't running much, but he averaged 5 yards a carry. Your top three, 4 receivers, they always averaging, if you do that average, they average 10 to catch. So I feel like, the players, and we can talk about the defense. I think offensively or whatever, Monk need to do something else, man. It's stale, it's dry. It's a problem when you take a whole offseason and 2 games into a regular season. Well, I guess 2 quarters into the second game, and you finally figure out how to run Derrick Henry. Like, why are you trying to run him in between the tackles? You should have been stopped on it. That doesn't work. He can't run in between tackles. What's the point of doing that? With an offensive line like that, and it's literally the worst offensive line I have seen in Baltimore history. Like, even Kyle Bowler had a better offensive line than this. Like, he's under pressure. He's constantly under pressure. We literally cannot run the ball. Throw the stat, like I said, I gave you all that, but throw them out. We literally cannot run the ball. It's not effective. It's the difference between running the ball and then being effective. But the run wasn't effective. It really wasn't effective. When you run the ball, it's effective. You control. You had the time of possession. The Ravens lost the time of possession yesterday, so it's really not effective. It's like I said, you as a Ravens fan or whatever, you sit here and you look, it seems that you should be beaten. It seems that you should dominate, and we never do. You look at it, it's another second quarter, a second half double-digit lead blown at home under the same coach that's still here. You 0-2, you go to Dallas, you got Buffalo coming in, so you start 0-4 in the face. So it's not, the schedule doesn't get easy. Then you got at Cincinnati after that, so you're starting 0-5 in the face. It's literally right there looking at you in the face. But we got to sit here and say, people going to tell us John Harbaugh is a good coach, and take the official out. This one show that we don't complain about the official. You got 11 penalties. That's coaching, man. That's coaching. They could have picked up a couple. They could have not called a couple of them, whatever, here, there, whatever. But that's still 11 penalties for 100 and something yards. That's coaching. That's not having your team ready to play. Like, I think individually, like Lamar, the players played well. Like, it's bad. We come on the show, we talk about Owe all the time. He had 2.5 sacks. We can't even talk about it. We could say, he had a good game, but it's the grand scheme of things. What does really matter? Calvin Noy coming back off a broken eye had 2 sacks. Individually, people played well, but when you got an incompetent coach, there's nothing you can really do. There's nothing you can really do. End of the half, Ravens could have had a chance. I never played the end zone, but guess what? We didn't have a timeout. Into the second half, time running down, we could have maybe, we could have threw the ball in the middle of the field one more time, but guess what? We didn't have a timeout. It's literally the same thing over and over and over again. It's not like something like John Harbaugh. We coming into this, or we saying, well, give him a chance. This is for here first time coach, or we saying, we ain't never seen this mistake before. We've seen this mistake a lot of times. We've seen it over and over again. We've seen this mistake over and over and over again. It's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. You can't be losing to if you're a team that got Super Bowl aspirations. You can't be losing to the Las Vegas Raiders at home after you had a second half double-digit lead. So no, it's not like I said. You literally staring 0-5 in the face, and there's only one person you really could point the finger at. Like it's really one person, and the offense it's stale. I said that it's stale, but I'm not going to sit here and who hires the offensive coordinator. All this comes back to goddamn John Harbaugh, and I've been saying it. People laugh. People think I'm joking. Sometimes I make jokes about it, but it's a 3-4 year thing where your coach don't even know. He don't even got somebody in the booth to tell him not to challenge play that the whole America saying that he would never won. So it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous that you put your team in that spot. You're giving up points. You're giving up 7. It's ridiculous. It's just a status. It's a sad state of affairs. That you lose in double-digit halftime lead, second half leads to the Las Vegas Raiders, and and I guess my last point was I'm sorry that I said Brandon Stevens. I don't know what was I thinking. I don't know what was I thinking. At the same time, it's Devontae Adams, so he can do that to anybody, but he was used and abused. But yeah, like I said, I'll let y'all break down more of the game and get into the players and all that. But I can't even get into all that because I'm stuck at John Harbaugh.
All right, is this thing on? Listen, man. Piss poor. Keys mentioned Super Bowl aspirations. We shouldn't have Super Bowl aspirations. This isn't the same team that was on the cusp last year. This is a completely different team at multiple key positions. We chose that path. We chose to go young and retool in that way. So this is what we have to deal with. We choose to believe in the Eric DeCosta drafting system and the development system of John Harbaugh, and we believe that our guys are the best guys for the job. And it's showing that a lot of these guys put in the position right now are mid. You look at what the Twitter debates are today. Ben Cleveland versus Filele. They both suck. They both aren't the options for Lamar Jackson in protecting his life and protecting his career and his season and our playoff hopes. There are no playoff hopes right this second. We're 0-2. We just lost to Gardner Minshew at home. That is not an indictment or something to where you say, you know what, we can't do this in January. There might not be a January. There might not be a Lamar past week 8. But we can start talking about the game. Let's talk about how we were up 16-6 and how the defense was doing pretty good. Got to stop. We have the ball. What happens? Lamar tries to get Rashad Bateman involved because, Rashad Bateman, he's talking to the media all week. I'm a precision route runner. Lamar is more backyard football. We have to get on the same page. Look at Lamar trying to get on the same page as the former first-round pick. And what happens? First of all, Rob Spillane snatches it out of his hands, so he wanted the ball more. Secondly, it only came out of his hands because he dropped the pass. For all the crying that we consistently do on the internet about Rashad Bateman, whether it's him crying or the fans crying, oh, feed Rashad. Rashad needs more targets. Rashad needs this. These are the things that he does on tape. Ain't no nails going to fix that. That changed the momentum of the game. We were up 16-6 with ball after a stop. That changed the momentum of the game. At that point, you gave Las Vegas some belief. Shout out to Max Crosby for being a leader, pulling Gardner Minshew to the side after an interception, getting in his grill and saying, you know what, we need you, big dog. If we're going to win this game, we need you. We got you. The defense, we got you. We need you to do your part. That's pretty much what happened in the game. defense on the Raiders were taking turns using, abusing the right side. Max Crosby was getting in the backfield without any hesitation, among others. And it just changed the complexion of the game. The Keys mentioned the Ravens were penalized 11 times for 109 yards compared to 3 penalties for 15 yards from the Raiders. So we got out coached and we got out executed. Marlon Humphrey, you talked about Brandon Stevens. I want to bring up Marlon Humphrey because every time I saw Marlon Humphrey, he was on a piggyback ride. He was trailing and then trying to make a tackle and getting dragged 3, 4, 5 yards down the field. Big Marlon, podcast Marlon, and respect to him. I'm not trying to play him, but that's what we saw. The Raiders scored on their final 4 possessions of the game. So we couldn't get a stop when we most needed it. But it wasn't the defensive fault. The Ravens also came up empty on our last 2 offensive possessions and countless possessions before that when we could have continued to put our foot down and on their necks and get them out of here. And it wasn't just offense. Justin Tucker continues to miss from 50 yards, 1 for 7 from his last 7 tries from 50 yards and out. That is unacceptable. Jordan Stout, a 24-yard punt that was accompanied by a 5-yard penalty in which offered a net gain of 19 yards of field position change. So at that point, with 2 and some change left, the Raiders really didn't have to do much to take the lead. We gifted them the game and the lead.
We only had two timeouts too.
Well, that's a normal thing, you know. I mean, everybody loves this John Harbaugh aggressive shit, right? We love 2-point conversions. We love going for we love going for it on 4th down, not kicking field goals, not going to overtime, throwing a challenge flag. John Harbaugh is 2 for 12 since 2022 in challenges. Nobody cares about the timeouts, huh? Nobody cares about time and clock management. Exactly, but I'm just saying in general. Nobody cares about clock management anymore, right? So when people like Troy Smith sit there and say, if not John, then who? Anybody that can fucking manage a clock. Anybody that can throw a challenge flag when appropriate. The damn stadium shows the replays for free without a challenge.
What I say yesterday, Keys, they showing it on the big board.
Like he get excited. He get too excited, man. He get too excited. Like a dog.
It's unacceptable, dog. It's unacceptable, and this is where we are with it. You know, I thought it was a trap game because, again, the Raiders aren't without talent. We'll talk about Anthony Richardson and the Colts at some point, you know, this week. But Gardner Minshew almost took them to the playoffs. Gardner Minshew ain't no scrubbity scrub. Like, he can play football, and we better put some respect on his name. He didn't came into our crib 2 straight years and handed it to us. He did that. Devontae Adams, he did that. Brock Bowers, a rookie, dragging people down the field. He did that. Where is our offensive identity? You know, I talked about how everything's under center when we run the ball with Derrick Henry. So when we line up in single back or we line up in an I form under center and Derrick Henry's in the game, what do you think is going to happen, guys? Just take a guess. What type of play do you think is going to occur? I mean, that's what the defenses are saying. Oh shit, here we go. Single back. They running the ball.
I mean, you can get away with it if you had a decent offensive line, maybe.
Well, we used to get away with it because it was they know what we're gonna do, but they can't stop it, so we don't care. Mm-hmm. We don't have that ability anymore. We can't just go out and dictate what we want on the field anymore. This old line is ass. And it's not just a John Harbaugh discussion right now. Who allowed John Harbaugh to pick Ben Cleveland? Who is allowing John Harbaugh to make these draft decisions? And then we're sitting there trying to lift up Ben Cleveland like he's the magical elixir. John Harbaugh saying he's not good enough to play and beat out Daniel Falahi.
Is that 77?
Why are they our 2 options?
Yeah, 77 is the worst play I've ever seen in my life. I ain't gonna hold you.
Why are they our 2 options? Right? Like, this is total mismanagement, malpractice. And as far as Lamar Jackson is concerned, I mean, people keep asking, why don't we push it down the field more? Why aren't we running play actions more? So on and so forth. Monken don't trust this O-line either. And there's only but so much Lamar Jackson can do. A lot of the times in the Chiefs game, when we did score a touchdown, it was off script plays. Nothing is in rhythm. Nothing is in timing. This offense is literally like there's no consistency to it, so we can't rely on anything from it other than Lamar Jackson's great. Harbaugh said it today. The only consistent player on offense is Lamar. I've been saying it for how many weeks now that the game plan is Lamar, please. Because that's what it is. Lamar, please save us. There's that doesn't give me confidence that we should be aggressive at any points. It really just tells me that this might be a punt year. The thing is, are we good enough to win a Super Bowl like the Chiefs don't in a punt year? Because last year was their punt year. They retooled. They got big boys now. They got big boy weapons now. Last year, they are well coached enough and great enough at the most important positions to win in a year in which they were dinking and dunking all year. And winning in which a year they had no verticality and no speed. Are we good enough and well coached enough to win in a year in which we have no O-line, in which we have a young defense? And shout out to Oweh, but I don't give a fuck what you do versus Gardner Minshew. Do it against Patty. Do it against Real Comp. We were supposed to beat them by 20 plus points. We were on our way to doing so, but we didn't. Why is that? It's Harbaugh. Is DeCosta for putting us in this personnel position? It's DeCosta for empowering Harbaugh to do the things that he does continually. It's Bisciotti for keeping Harbaugh because he's living off a 2012 Super Bowl. It's 2024. That's 12 years ago.
People get fired. You win championship. That don't mean you get a lifetime contract. Like
it's all about coddling and no accountability, right? There's no, hey, John, you need to get better. Hey, John, your seat's going to be a little bit warm this year. We're tired of seeing this, and the third. It's, hey, my wife baked some cookies for you, and we're all friendly here, and we're all holding hands and kumbaya. That's not how accountability works in business or team sports or any type of field that you want to think about. That's not how it works. And if you continue to coddle and ignore and move forward without changing or attacking the root cause of issues, this type of shit happens. Losing to Gardner Minshew back-to-back years at M&T Bank Stadium. Good job, Ravens. You did it this time. Sko and the Steelers are 2-0. Unbelievable.
Yeah, disappointing. I think you and Keys covered it all pretty much, but just disappointing. You talk about lack of accountability. We had a running joke in the chat, but you saw what Monken said last week to the reporter. So soft. Like it's right now in the castle and Ravens world, it's just everyone's comfortable. And right now we need people to be uncomfortable. And to go and watch that game yesterday, a game where you're the biggest favorite of the weekend, a game with about 12 minutes left, you got a 90% chance of winning. Another 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and you squander it. Back-to-back weeks, you've outgained the Chiefs, you've outgained the Raiders, and they both end up in losses. So now you got to look at where's that start with? That starts with John Harbaugh. That starts with coaching. Year in, year out, this team is unprepared. They come out hot first three quarters, and then what happens in the fourth quarter? They're one of the worst pass defensive teams in the fourth quarter over the last year. They can't defend in the fourth quarter. Now, I don't think that's the reason they lost yesterday. But I said it week one. You can't put a hubcap on a Lamborghini. You just can't. And right now, what they're doing to Lamar, we'd be lucky if we see him in October, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Y'all brought up John Harbaugh a lot, and this might seem like a rhetorical question, but I'm going to ask anyway. Is it time to move on from John? He's the second longest tenured coach behind Mike Tomlin. But like you said, 2012 was the last Super Bowl. We know in Baltimore what the standard is for y'all and expectations. Is it time?
Disappointing loss, tough loss. Could have gone our way for sure, but we didn't get the job done. 0-2. I are going to play a 17-game season, and we will be defined by the next 15 games. So that's going to be our objective, to play the best 15 games we can, be the best football team we can be. And if we do that, then we're going to have a really good season, have a shot to win a lot of games and get in the playoffs and make a run. So that's what we have to do. Big picture, short term, we got to go back and look at every little thing, continue to clean up the things that we know we can clean up and get better at, that make a difference in games. And we'll continue to work very hard to do that.
He didn't say anything. He literally said nothing. But I'm on record. Everybody listening to the show, everybody watch the show, everybody that knows me knows I'm on record to say John Harbaugh has to go. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's like it's one of the things where now it's 2 seasons too late, 3 seasons too late. To your point, Keith, everybody's comfortable because Lamar made everybody comfortable because he's so good. You know, like he saved a lot of people's jobs. He's pretty much, this franchise was not going, you know, the way that it should have been going until Lamar Jackson got here. No, man, you can't challenge those 2 calls and, you know, and keep blowing these fourth quarter leads, these second half leads, and expect to have a job. Like, people keep on saying, oh, he won a Super Bowl. Like, you know, Boston fired Terry Francona, man, and he brought them their first championship in 100 years. Like, you don't have to keep these coaches around.
Bill Belichick got fired.
Yeah, you don't have to, you know, be, to your point, Nick, to have kumbaya and bake cookies. Like, get rid of him. And it's sad to say as a Ravens fan, but at this point, you know, you want to win a Super Bowl, but what would you rather have? You know, I guess you would have a Super Bowl, but then John Harbaugh going to really have a lifetime job. So now it's like, all right, get me the 0-4 so he can get fired. Like, if it's, get him out of here. Like, you can't win with him. I've been saying this. Like, we've reached our cap. We reached our max on John Harbaugh. You cannot win anymore with him. He's a dinosaur to the game. He doesn't understand clock management. He really never did. And now it's even worse because them 2 challenges yesterday were utterly ridiculous. They were utterly ridiculous. Like, it's not even, you know, you challenging it so you can, you know, if you challenge this, whatever, you win a game, we lose the game, whatever. That's the order, whatever, because this the game. No, it wasn't that for neither one. It wasn't that. You blew timeouts that you needed, that your team needed at the end of each half. You needed both of those timeouts.
He's doing it every week.
Yeah, and it's
did it last week too.
He did. He do it every year. Like, it's a yearly thing with him. Like, it's a yearly thing. I just don't see it. I don't see. You know, you got Mike McDonald 2-0. Like, you know, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, John Harbaugh has to go. To answer your question, so he has to go. He should have been gone. Like, he should have been gone. He's holding this team back, man.
So you say he should have been gone. So what's the underlying root cause? You remove John Harbaugh, does the problem remain? Because the people in charge of the coaching decisions decide that John Harbaugh is beyond reproach or beyond reprimand with some of you know, it's not just this season, like you said. How many times do we have to lose in the playoffs the exact same way? Mm-hmm. How many times do we blame it on Greg Roman and then blame it on Todd Monken? But John Harbaugh remains, and the people allow John Harbaugh to remain. How many times do we have to say this player sucks, but then you learn John Harbaugh had a key role in drafting that player? Then you have to ask yourself, wait, why does the special teams guru have all of this say-so in offensive line draft and fullbacks and so on and so forth? Who is giving him this empowerment? This ain't empowerment temple. He ain't Jamal Bryant. Who is giving Harbaugh all this clout and leeway to do what Harbaugh does?
The same people who traded Morgan Moses and Zach LeBart. Yeah,
so it's not just Harbaugh.
Not protect the investment.
It's not just Harbaugh. Like, we got rid of a line full of veterans: Zeitler, Moses, Simpson. Replaced them with players that clearly aren't ready, and those players are homegrown. Who drafted them? Right? Who's drafted them?
We went from a wide receiver problem to an offensive line problem, dog. Like, you can't make that up.
Still got the wide receiver problem.
I mean, it's way better than what it was. I give you that. It's decent. I'll take our weapons. I'll take our weapons. We can get rid of Bateman. Actually, no, I did say we need a bona fide.
Did you see Nelson yesterday?
We need a bona fide number 1. We do
not attacking the ball. Not attacking the ball.
Y'all not gonna not y'all. When I say y'all, you already know what's up. I'm talking about like Twitter and like the Ravens fans who are homers and stuff. Like, people aren't going to sit there and sing Nelson's praises all off season on some kumbaya shit as if I haven't seen him his entire career. Like, I wasn't there in that playoff game. Like, me and Keith wasn't there in that playoff game watching shit fumble off his hands.
I see.
Like, who do y'all think Nelson Aguilar is? Don't let Zay get hurt. It's a wrap. We're done. Don't let him get hurt. Don't let him get an ankle sprain, bro. Because then who are we relying on at that point? And no, we can't just throw the tight ends every single fucking play. People going to close off the middle eventually, and they not the fastest of position groups. They tight ends. You're supposed to get them on linebackers and safeties. They're not supposed to be like the people you throw to every single fucking play and rely on. Don't let Zay get hurt. It's going to get real spooky because we can't even get the ball to Zay in rhythm. There's times where Zay is wide open for plays 20, 25, 30 yards down the field. Why can't we get him the ball? Because Lamar's on the ground. Because Lamar's running all over the place. Who decided that pathway? You get rid of Harbaugh, I'm with it. But who remains at that point? And what's the status quo that remains? We have to talk about how Eric DeCosta, most of his rookie class this year, was hurt. Inactive. We ain't getting a snap out of these people. I'm about to lose my cool. We ain't getting a snap out of these people.
And how big did we say this draft was for us?
I mean, if we're going to go
given
young,
Lamar's contract,
if we're going to go young like we did, we kind of need these young guys to play, right? And then why is it taking 3-4 years for our development pieces to actually develop into starting caliber players? And when I say starting caliber, to them, Filet, he's starting, so I guess he's starting caliber, but is he ready? No.
We don't need to be in the
We overrate our development. We overrate EDC's drafting, development, Harbaugh's development. We ain't about that. Lamar is the answer. The Lamar and the vet. Now, I'll give EDC credit. Last year, he was amazing when it came to veteran signings. I don't know why we stopped doing that. It seems like when you go to that well, we kind of did all right. Van Noy showed up yesterday. Like, we kind of did all right with the veteran signings. We said, nah, fuck that. Nah, we don't need no vets. Like, the team that just almost was on the cusp of the Super Bowl, we don't need no vets. Let's get rid of a good majority of them. Shit, we gave Lamar a past his prime Odell, and Odell was making plays for him. Said, fuck that. Fuck that. We got Nelson Aguilar and Bateman.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about 3 to 4 years to develop. I mean, you look at the Chiefs and their recipe, Trent McDuffie, rookie year, damn near all pro. Isaiah Pacheco, what he did, Rasheed Rice. I mean, the list goes on for a team that has a quarterback that gets paid a ton of money, and they had to fill it in with rookies, and they got it done. It was 2 quotes I took from John Harbaugh's press conference today. He said he's not aware of Zay Flowers getting less production in the second half.
Which is not watching the game.
Hold on.
Because he's not watching the game.
Hold on, Keith. To add to your point, the context behind that is Zay Flowers retweeted something on his Twitter, basically saying that he should have got the ball more in the second half.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was John Harbaugh's response. So I'll just throw that quote out there first, and then I'll throw the other one out. But to say you have no idea that your number one wide receiver is not getting come on. Like, how else can you not have no feel for the football game? And then the second quote he had is, by having more leads in the fourth quarter probably means that you'll lose more leads than most teams.
Huh? Yo, come on, yo. Let's go to the next.
He didn't say that.
John Harbaugh said that.
Yo, stop playing with me. Yo.
Said this in the presser today. Yeah,
he said
these are all quotes by our head coach of the Baltimore Ravens.
If you have a lead,
supposed to lead us to a Super Bowl, or who we still keeping around. Like, at this point, it's a joke. Get him out of here. I'm tired of it.
Wait. He said if you have a lead, it's more likely that you'll lose it because you have it.
No accountability, man.
You ever heard something like that? I've never heard something like that.
Now, the fact that you have so many leads in the fourth quarter probably lends itself to you're going to lose more leads than most teams. So I understand that part of it is the exact quote.
So why more leads in the fourth quarter mean you should win those games? Like, why you? It don't make it. That doesn't make sense. And to your point, Scott, Tomlin say a lot of shit, but it makes sense. You know, it can relate. His shit relates to the actual game. Like, I want animals. Like, what was the quote? What he said? I want dogs, like whatever he said. But you know,
whoa to sick him.
Yeah, that one. That relates to the game. That directly relates to the game. You telling me you got this guy up here saying that? Come on, man. I'm not even going to repeat what he said, but that makes no sense. That's like to what Nick said. That's malpractice. Seriously, that really is. Like you have no. It's like you're not there. It's like he's not there unless he hit a crowd yelling to throw a challenge flag. So the only reason to do that challenge flag because he heard the crowd getting loud. That's really the only reason to do that challenge flag. He had no reason to throw that challenge.
What do you expect a home crowd to do?
Yo, all saw that ball bounce. We saw that ball bounce. Everybody saw that ball bounce. The only person that didn't see that ball bounce was John Harbaugh. He the only person that didn't see that ball bounce.
Lamar told him.
We didn't even talk about the 4th and 1 where you put the tight end under center, and then you got Derrick Henry who have a split instead of just putting the ball in 8 hands and letting them hand the ball off to Henry and letting 8 go get the first down. Like, why are we getting cute?
That's because as a head coach, even if you hit, that's what I'm saying. You have found to say so on everything. Obviously, Harbaugh. We've been saying it's Harbaugh. Maybe he don't. But yo, if you as a head coach, you hear that call coming through the mic. That you go hand the ball off to Charlie Kolar and shit. No, why not put the ball in your quarterback hand or give it to Derrick Henry? What are you doing, man?
And time out. Why do we keep putting mid in position to make decisions? You know, Harbaugh, if you look his history of offensive coordinators, it's never anybody that's innovative, top of their class. Somebody that pushes the needle forward or the envelope forward, so to speak. It's always guys like retreat guys, people that won't usurp his position on a team, right? So look at some of the names: Mark Trestman, Marty Morningweg, Todd Monken. Nobody's beating down Todd Monken's door, even after a great year in Georgia. In college. Cam Cameron, Greg Roman. You know what I mean? Like, I could probably keep going, but y'all know my brain. I have some fogginess up there. But yeah, man, it's really
too much goddamn John Harbaugh.
Oh, after yesterday, it was very foggy. But yeah, man. Listen, why don't we have the best of the best coaching up Lamar? Like, we talked about it over the summer. Could you imagine Lamar with a Sean McVay, a McDaniel? Shit, a LaFleur, I'll be happy with any LaFleur at this point. You know what I mean? Any McVay, any Cousins, Kubiaks. You see what they're doing in New Orleans.
I'm so Clint Kubiak. Give me it again.
As much as
like when you say there's no other options out there, but John, it's options. It's always
Keith. As much as you hate the boy, if we had a Bill O'Brien offense right now, it'd be different. It'd be a lot different, man. Like as much as we hate Bill O'Brien, he can draw it up. It's a lot of players out. Why not? Why I hate that we got a special teams coordinator as head coach. Give me an offensive guy, or give me a defensive guy. I don't need a special teams guy. I don't.
And if you're going to be a special teams guy, put the best people in positions to inform you of decisions that you might not be well versed in.
Yesterday. Illegal. They lined up illegally on the kickoff or something like that.
Special teams has been horrible this year. And we haven't even talked about the fact that over the summer, didn't they hire an in-game coordinator for John Harbaugh and then decided to not make that hire after social media kind of started? Was like, yo, this nigga. Mm-hmm. It should tell you it should tell you what we're dealing with. But we could put it all on John Harbaugh. At what point does Lamar say, you know what, I'm tired of this shit as a leader? And I'm not blaming Lamar, that's my guy. But I need him to start making more of a fuss, like because I know he's silently angry and mad as shit. I could see it in his eyes after that Bateman drop. He was looking like, yo, that's why I don't throw to you, yo. So I see the subtle signs of frustrations, but at a certain point, as the $200 million dude, you got to say, listen, Steve, I'm starting to get tired of this shit. I'm starting to get tired of it because these fourth quarter losses is going on my jacket. When they pull up my Hall of Fame resume and my stats. This fourth quarter shit ain't looking how it's supposed to. I'm giving people 10-point leads here, 15-point leads here, 20, and we letting it slip away repeatedly, season after season. Yep. When are we going to make it? Because Lamar can't do it by himself, and honestly, the players can't do it by themselves. But also, the players like, yo, when are y'all going to just say, enough is enough? Not even with the Harbaugh shit on the field. Roquan, where was Roquan yesterday? Did you hear anything about Roquan? I didn't. Where's Mr. Ray Lewis who wants to talk?
I saw Brock Bowers going off there tight end. He was killing us.
Dragging people. dragging people
And
like he didn't play in the league before.
Where's Marcus Williams?
Marcus Williams had one of the lowest.
Marcus Williams can't get fucking lined up. That's why he can't. He's never in the right place when he's supposed to.
His PFF rating was like, and I hate PFF, but it was in the 40s. That's not good.
Marcus Williams can't even get lined up right, though. He's never in the right position.
To the Raiders.
So
this ain't the Eagles.
Y'all on the defense. So let me just ask you.
We fired Billick for less. That's all. We fired Brian Billick for way less.
Yeah, we definitely fired Brian.
Y'all fired him for losing to Miami. Yeah.
Y'all fired Brian Billick for way less.
And listen, when we fired Billick, I'm sure there was people saying, if not Billick, then who? You know who we chose? You know who the who was? A special teams coordinator from Philadelphia.
Him and Jason Garrett. I remember.
I'm about to say Jason Garrett was number one. He said, "Nah, I'm cool." He said, "Nah, I'm cool." But y'all won the defense. Let me game 2, week 2. Feelings about Zach Orr at this moment.
I mean,
too early.
Listen, it's the jury star got to be out. They still not getting lined up the way they need to be lined up. I feel like they may be a little bit unprepared, but it's still early. And also, you guys think about it. If your offense keep going 3 and out, your defense gonna be tired, man.
They played well, and they played well enough to win football games. But again, when you have a offensive line that prevents you from calling the type of plays you want to call because you're not, you don't believe that they're going to be able to hold up in protection, it kind of stifles what you can do to maintain possession, right? So if I can't call this route because I know the line ain't going to protect long enough for it, maybe I can't get the first downs that I need to keep the defense off the field, to put another score on the board to give us more of a cushion, to make them be able to be more one-dimensional offensively as far as the Raiders are concerned. If we score when we have chances to score, maybe they can't call the calls that they were calling and they have to press a little more, which plays into our advantage. Maybe we can send more blitzes. And that's how football works. It's supposed to be complementary. But with this 3 and out shit, it ain't helping nobody. And again, it's Lamar, please. Anytime we score or get down the field is because something amazing Lamar has done, whether it's a read or a scramble or a play fake or just his presence on the field. It's not the play calling and it's not the players right now. It's Lamar. So until we figure out how to allow Lamar to do what he needs to do to give us a better chance of winning, we fucked.
I need the national media to start calling for John Harbaugh head more, man. I don't hear it enough.
No, it's on Lamar's jacket now. You know, Lamar's the reason we're 0-2, according to the people. You know, I don't listen to this shit, but if y'all listen to the ESPNs and the Fox Sports and shit, what about Marlon? He's trash. You know,
talking about the defense.
I'm sorry,
Marlon. All right, how do y'all? Because you mentioned it earlier about his podcast. I saw a clip. I mean, they were eviscerating Marlon on the way to his car. It was like, damn. And I know
it's no comment on that. You got some people got worried about their family though, more so than Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah, that's
like, God damn, like he's been having bad games, but I mean, that was tough to see because it's like, yo,
it's tough to see because in training camp it'd be different energy, amongst some of the type of people. It'd be getting my video, right?
Yeah.
But anyway,
I saw Marlon get beat like that at training camp though. So
he was getting beat like that last year.
And the year before that.
He's been trash, but we are supposed to be silent about it because they tell us, it's Marlon Humphrey. Look at what he's done throughout his career for the Ravens. It's Marlon Humphrey. Just like, it's Justin Tucker. I can't talk about the 1 for 7 because I was talking about it last November. Right. I got eviscerated on Twitter. How could you say that about Justin Tucker? Nigga, because he's missing kicks.
They killed us on YouTube for that video too.
Justin Tucker sucks. I mean, you can say, that's the problem. That's the problem. You can say that people that had a good career, that he's a Hall of Fame. He sucks.
I love Justin Tucker.
Like, he sucks now.
It hurts me that he sucks. He's Chris Boswell.
50 yards we watched go through the uprights yesterday?
He's Chris Boswell at this point. He'll make some 40. He makes some 49 and unders, but the 50s is iffy.
Nah, Chris Boswell's money from 50.
Since when?
A lot of 50-yarders go through the uprights yesterday.
And what you say? Everybody, I guess every kick in the league can make a 50-yarder but Justin Tucker now. That's what it's saying.
Carlson was the Raiders kicker was making them.
Yeah, everybody.
Carlson, yeah.
Everybody, literally everybody.
It's just, I mean, he was
your
your secret weapon at one point. Like, it literally was like, yo, you can't let the Ravens get to the 50 in the fourth quarter.
But he's not just missing them. He's missing them bad. Like, it's like these things are.
Yeah, he got the distance on him. But
yeah, he's missing them bad. Like, he has no accuracy.
He got the yips now. He in his head.
Maybe if you stop the coddling and start some accountability, maybe things go a little different in the offseason as far as not bringing in a replacement, but maybe him just and I get him as the GOAT. He's the best kicker we've ever seen. I'm sure he has a high standard for himself. He's just not missing kicks and not trying to correct it. Let me not put it like that, but instead of saying everything's going to be okay, maybe there needs to be some attention to this matter because it's becoming a liability. We need those 3 points. We needed those 3 points in every game that he's missed them. Mm-hmm. That's why we're kicking
critical time. It just Justin Tucker missing the kick is different than other field goals missing the kick because you expect him to make it, and now the whole minimum people like they cheer when kickers miss, but when Justin Tucker missed field goal, people cheer like they literally like they are excited when because they expect him to make it. So it's a different momentum, and like you said, he's not the same. We've been seeing it win or no win. He's not the same kicker that he used to be. And kickers get bad, kickers age, they get bad. That's what happens. That's what happens with every player. You start getting older, you're not as good as you were when you're younger. But he's built a career, and I'm sure that if you're a professional athlete, he's okay with getting criticized. Like if you're not good, you should be okay with getting criticized. He should be the first person to come out and say, "I have not been good. I'm not good right now." Not, oh yeah, let's rely on what he did 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Let's rely on what he gave. Nobody give a hell about what kicks he made in Denver. I'm thinking about what he did yesterday against the Raiders.
Yeah, can't live in the past, man. Hey, y'all mentioned Zach Orr. One thing I will say, I do want to give him rope. It's just sad that, like Mike McDonald had a veteran unit to play with. Remember Mike McDonald's first year, he struggled. The first few games, he struggled. I remember that Miami game early. It was a struggle. That was a fourth quarter loss. But he basically adjusted to the speed of the game coming from college. And, by the end of the season, McDonald was a plus to us. I hope and pray that Zach Orr is going to go through a similar trajectory. I'm just going to say it here, though. Mike McDonald had the luxury of having a veteran cohesive unit on defense last year that he got to coach up. We don't have a veteran unit on defense. Talented, you could say. Talented in the right positions, yes, you could say. But veteran unit, hell no. And you have to deal with miscommunications when you talk about inexperience. You have to deal with breakdowns and busted plays. How many times did you see people running wide open in the last 2 weeks? I'm talking about wide open. Devontae Adams dropped a pass. I didn't see anybody 10 yards in his vicinity.
Because Marlon playing one-on-one defense and going over top of the safety. How you playing one-on-one defense and you going? That means you're so far back that you can't even jam. Like, come on, man, get Marlon Humphrey out. Like, get Marlon Humphrey out of here.
We need better safety play. Like, everybody just needs to get better, and we got to stop this in January. Talk or assuming that things are just gonna. A lot of people say it's only week 2. That is very true. It is only week 2, but you don't think conference games matter? This goes against the conference record. So if it's a tie-break situation, we're not helping ourselves here. 0-2, and then you have Dallas on the road, who's going to be a hungry team after being embarrassed in their home opener. The Bills come into town. People have been talking shit about the Bills. The Bills been looking damn good, and they look like a much better team than us right now. And then I believe the Bengals, who again on the road, division game. I got Lamar in that matchup, but I can't even talk my shit no more because he might get killed too. You know what I mean? Because Patrick Mahomes, Cincinnati's defense was going off yesterday.
Yeah, man. It's, like I said, you staring 0-5 in the face, and it would not surprise me if they be 0-5. I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
I gotta come in here, scroll my big bro. Like, fuck that, man. Like, I'm hating shit right now.
It's all good. It's all good. But just remember, I love you though.
No, I love you too. But fuck you.
Always. I love it. That's a perfect way to go into the first commercial break. Nitty Gritty.
When I want some sports news, Nitty Gritty is definitely who I'm tuning into, man. They show up each week with that uncut, that raw, that unfiltered sports news.
They say the things that everyone else wishes that they can say, but they can't. Every Tuesday and Saturday, I am locked into my favorite sports show, Nitty Gritty.
Nitty Gritty, the best show out right now. Tune in and listen, stupid.